Hey guys, it's Aaron, and we're here in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia, and we heard about a firm that seamlessly blends architecture and planning, and we figured we should meet them, tour their office, and maybe check out a project that was built in SketchUp. So join me as we check out DA Architects and Planners. I'm Aaron from SketchUp.
Aaron, Al Johnson, DA Architects.
DA is a mid-sized firm with about 25 people. They specialize in high-density residential developments, commercial buildings, and schools. They even worked on the Vancouver Convention Center where we held 3D Basecamp 2022. Al gave me a tour of the office. And architectural offices are so cool. Great artwork, scale models, renderings. I loved all of it.
I am a sucker for, for scale models, and I love the context buildings are all clear. That's a very cool touch.
Well, we work in SketchUp, we work in physical models. They all kind of feed each other, and that's how we kind of evolve the design over time. The planning of communities from scratch is something that we enjoy working on. The placemaking, if you will.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is something that we go after, and as a result of the successful projects we worked on, people come to us for that expertise.
So tell us about this project that you guys got going on right now.
Sealand Village.
Yes.
Exciting project. We started the design process almost 10 years in that. And this speaks to the longevity of these projects. It started off as a master planning exercise where there was pretty well a vacant lot on the north shore of Vancouver. Sketched to paper, then worked it up through kind of massing models. Very much it was intended to become a community hub for an evolving new town center.
It sounds like an incredible project, but I'm very visual. I need to see a thing. Can we go see some pictures?
Come on in, we'll show you.
All right, thank you. This is a paperboard model.
We use this as a tool, just like we use, any sort of SketchUp or physical final models to show to the client really, again, the spaces in between and the overall concept. So early on, we used the computer modeling to actually look at shadowing on the site. So it could be as simple as providing daylight, sunlight, midday at noon. And that's why this tower is actually pulled to this side rather than in this location. So very early on, in the very simple massing, we have to determine that and prove to the city that there's a qualitative aspect to those open spaces. The intent was to have a really strong shopping edge to the development. So not only would people be able to kind of live there, they could also work there and pick up all their daily kind of shopping needs in the immediate neighborhood.
Is this a success if somebody moves in here and never leaves? Like, is that? I did it. Ms. Johnson has not left the property in 4 months. Hey, I'm Aaron.
Hey Aaron, I'm Ross.
They told me that you're the most important guy, the SketchUp user around here.
Well, one of them, that's right.
How do you use SketchUp around here?
We use SketchUp really from the beginning to the end of the project. For massing studies, to study the project in perspective, to create fly-through animations quite frequently, and of course 2D elevation drawings, shadow studies, view studies, you name it. It's really a versatile tool.
I see you've got Sealand Gardens loaded up right here. Can we take a look through some of these models?
Yeah, sounds good. This particular model is a final version of the tower within the Sealand Village development ended up looking like. What's not shown in this model, I guess, is that the fact that, in behind there's the kind of the background of the mountains. And when you look at the mountains in winter, they have these kind of frosty mountaintops, because they're kind of snowed in, and then you have the kind of more kind of a green forest at the base. And so that's what we tried to do in the coloration of this tower, is that there's a lightness that it's a white tower that kind of works with the mountains, and there is a blue accent here that is again that kind of icy reference, and then the base is more kind of earthy, richer, is the brick here that is kind of more earth colored.
So the idea of Working in the environment while also complementing it.
That's right, yeah, and I think it's something that we try to do with our projects is to not have a project that sort of landed like a spaceship from outer space, and it's kind of like, here we are, but projects that feel like they have always been there.
Al talked to us a little bit about Vancouver and how it's important to maintain certain views or that sort of thing. Does that happen early on?
In Vancouver in particular, we have certain guidelines working in the city of Vancouver. If you look closely, there are projects around downtown that are really influenced by the view cones. It's about the views from the south side of Falls Creek, looking at the downtown, and there's that iconic view of the city of Vancouver with the mountains in the background. And what ends up happening is, as the city got developed, it sort of really kind of filling up that whole view, and so what the planners said is that there are certain areas where you want to kind of sculpt the shape of the city profile around views of certain mountaintops.
Vancouver's view cones are an amazing illustration of urban design. It's something you wouldn't even think about until you look closely. Once you notice, you can't help but be impressed by the effect that it has on the feel of Vancouver. It's like a city secret that I'm in on, and now you are too.
I think is interesting about this particular tower is that it has what we call jewel floors, and this is something that the client was quite keen on from the beginning. They're two-story units that are kind of situated within the body of the tower, and they create this kind of unique element that really kind of sets this project apart.
So something we noticed when we were walking around Vancouver is the amount of trees, grass, plants you guys put on top of buildings. Is that intentional? Is that something the city asks for? Is that just something that has become kind of just a hallmark of design here?
It is an expectation to have that access to greenery within your development. Quite often it's these podium gardens. It just gives the residents that outdoor amenity that, of course you can go to a neighborhood park, but the expectation is that you can have that access to green space within the development.
There's so many more things when you're creating that intentional community. I would imagine it's not a one-person job either. Is this something are you guys have regular meetings with people to go, okay, are we satisfying this, to keep track of everything that this 10-year-long project has to encapsulate?
We as architects turn these ideas that the clients have into form. Then an experienced team of technologists has to take that and they turn it into a set of working drawings. And those are the actual instructions that the contractors receive. And that really determines the success of the project at the end of the day, how well it's been documented, whether it was delivered on time, so there's lots of things coming together there.
It's always awesome to see a SketchUp model being used in different parts of the design-build process. This model was used for rendering and animation to be used for marketing. I loved experiencing Vancouver. The location, the architecture, the people, it was an amazing place. And I was so excited the next day I could head across Vancouver Harbor and visit the site.
Hey, I'm Aaron.
Hi, Aaron. I'm James from DA Architects.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So we spent a little time in your office yesterday, and today we get to actually go into the project you've been working on, and I heard you're the perfect guy to take us through there.
Well, I'll try my best. So, Aaron, we're going to go to Sealand Village, and it consists of 4 buildings. 3 of them are complete, and 1 of them is still under construction. So the first building was a condo building. It was 24 stories. It's called Beacon. The second building is a low-rise rental building, which also has the amenity component. Beside it is the 28-story Compass condo building. And the one that's under construction is the tallest of all of them. It's the 32-story Apex condo building.
I'm going to go throw on some PPE. We'll meet Al and head up the building.
Okay, sounds good.
it's just amazing. It really is awesome to be up this high and have this open, incredible view of Vancouver.
You can see the convention center.
Oh yeah.
It's a little bit smoky today because there's been a fire in one of our parks. Normally it's not like this smoky and foggy.
What's the preferred view in a building like this? Is it
That's a very
seeing the
good
bay
question.
or seeing the mountains?
I think it depends on what type of person you are. A lot of people want to see the downtown core,
Sure.
but then there's nature lovers who would prefer to see the mountains.
Well, I don't think there's a bad view. It's probably a good idea.
My specialty is working drawings and construction.
What kind of issues do you run into, being the person who's very familiar with the design going on site?
You're going from paper drawings to reality, and you need a strong contractor to help make that transition from line drawings to this.
Yeah.
So we assist the contractors, in this case, a very good contractor, ITC, and we assist them in making sure that the building is built correctly.
That's got to be just an amazing feeling of satisfaction to have them actually be here, physical, walking through, touching. That's got to be a big milestone.
Yes, it's why we are architects. You know, a lot of times buildings, they get designed and they never get built, and that's kind of heartbreaking for an architect. So to have one go from design to completion, that's the real goal of all architects.
So I got one more question. Is that hole supposed to be there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
What about
that's
those
the
holes?
lights.
Those holes good?
Those holes are good,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, good. Just wanted to check. Make sure everything's above board.
Thank you.
That's going to wrap up this episode. I want to give a special thanks to ITC for letting us in the building, and a big thanks to DA for hosting us for the last couple days. It was amazing to get to see this level of architecture and planning happen, and how SketchUp plays a part. That's it for today. Hopefully see you next time on Built in SketchUp. Make some very rich mice very happy.